Hi, this is Pat C., the People's Advocate. I'm here on Thursday, the 11th of April, 2024, and I want to tell you that I just received a few authors' copies of a book which I wrote at the urging of my Facebook viewers. And the content of the book concerns the 99 years of illegal statutory courts jurisdiction, which has been ongoing in Ireland since dates subsequent to the 5th of June, 1924. I only have a very small amount of author's copies, and if anybody wants one, I'll sign them and date them for them personally. There will be more copies, obviously, coming later on. I've gotten these flown in specially by air freight, so they'll be a little bit on the high side, but the book will be up on Amazon in the near future, both electronically and able to be published. It's a little bit more expensive than the usual because it's in color, and I've put in a lot of the documentation which I served on the board of the court services, which includes 8 of the judges of the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, High Court, Circuit Court, and District Court. I spoke about that in my last video, okay? And all the documents that I served on them are now in this book for people to see, and the story behind it. So I've gathered here on the table today some of the people's work, the working people, farmers, which should be the main objective in Irish society. Instead of people every day being prosecuted in courts for minor ridiculous crimes, which are basically only misdemeanors in other countries, but this makes a lot of money for the judicial system, solicitors and barristers, and impoverishes other people. I know criminals have to be prosecuted. I don't condone crime. And we have to have a proper justice system. But at the moment, we have an illegal statutory jurisdiction operating here in Ireland for 99 years, and it has to be stopped. The European Union judges in the European Court of Justice and European Court of Human Rights must be made aware of this. The presidents of those courts must be aware that we cannot celebrate 100 years of the statutory courts of justice system pursuant to the Courts of Justice Act 1924, because it has never been validly commenced and enforced by an original order. And what's worse than that, what is displayed in the National Archives is only a draft, which has been sealed with a seal that was obtained on the 26th of March, 1926, from the Royal Mint in the UK. These lemons here represent this law, which I consider to be a lemon law. These judges exercising power have no lawful power. They're acting ultra vires, which in effect means they're breaking the law contrary to Section 6 of the Offenses Against the State Act. In other words, courts are being held in illegal courts. They're exercising jurisdiction in illegal courts. They're exercising illegal jurisdiction. The documentation to prove everything I'm saying is in this book. For example, here in snapshot 1, you're going to see a copy of the first page of the Courts of Justice Bill 1923, that was endorsed as being passed by both houses of the Oireachtas. Okay, now on the next page then, you'll see here in snapshot 22, or snapshot 2, I'm sorry, you'll see down at the bottom, it's signed by Timothy Michael Healy on the 12th of April, 1924 at 6 p.m. Well, 100 years later, tomorrow, at 6 p.m., would have been the lawful anniversary of the conversion of this from a bill to an act. And on the 5th of June, 1924, that act should have been commenced by original order. It wasn't. It was never, there was no original order, and it was not commenced on that date. What is in the National Archives, which is displayed on these next pages here, page 16, 17, and 18 is the draft, okay, which was displayed, which is displayed in the National Archives and supposed to be the foundation document to commence the Courts of Justice Act on the 5th of June, 1924. That never happened because they didn't have the seal to seal this. So what you see here, there's a seal on this. If you go into the National Archives, you'll see the seal applied to this. They didn't get that seal until the 12th of March, 1926. I found the letter. I had to go through 20,000 documents to find this letter. There it is. It's displayed on page 19. So I've referenced in my explanation different pages in the snapshots in relation to all this. Okay? And at the back of the book, I've explained, as you get into chapter 7, I've explained about the Free State courts and how they were the only courts. And I've also explained a letter that I found from Lord Chief Justice Maloney and correspondence with Liam Cosgrave saying that the Government of Ireland Act was never implemented and recognized by the people. So this jurisdiction, which is supposed to be in the Courts of Justice Act 1924, was never passed, okay, because it's admitted in the letter that the Government of Ireland Act 1920 was repealed by implication. Okay, so look, this should be available soon. The publishers have told me it'll be up on Amazon, either an ebook or this type of a copy here. It's full color here. That's why it's a little bit more expensive, but I've included all the evidence here of the facts that prove that there is no jurisdiction. So judges presently today are operating in courts without jurisdiction. And look, the President of the European Court of Justice and the President of the European Court of Human Rights and the network of superior courts of Europe have to be made aware that Ireland is in breach of the solidarity provisions of freedom, justice, and security in Articles 2 and 19 of the Treaty for the Functioning of the European Union, which means there is no rule of law. Member state Ireland must be held accountable What is most disturbing is I found out that the Supreme Court has known about this since 1924. They have covered this all up. They have been operating these courts fraudulently and deceitfully. Okay, let me stop it there. And happy reading. I've done my best. It's taken me quite a number of years to put all this together. I've pleaded in the courts with them, with the legislature, with the executive, to do something about it. They haven't. It has to be rectified, and the only way it can be rectified is there'll have to be a referendum put to the people. Because Article 58 of the original Constitution that carried forward the jurisdiction from the Courts of Justice Act 1924 is itself an impediment, inconsistent with and repugnant to the Constitution, which then affects Article 64, which was passed recently, and Article 34A. So that the Supreme Court and the rules that they're making in the Supreme Court and the directions that they're giving also have a constitutional impediment, which is also a legal impediment. Happy reading.